How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Everybody. Family, soul tribe, peekaboos, and passerbys. I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all, radiating, operating, vibrating, emanating, exuding the highest and most illustrious and most beautiful and most healing portion of yourself through all yourself within the self that you know yourself to be. You hear me? Feeling good for no reason at all, because feeling good is feeling God. As for myself, I'm feeling good. The energy is a little lighter for me today than they have been previously, so I'm in a very good place. But y'all know I'm in a good place, regardless of what the energy feel like. You hear me? I'm gonna bring it. But yeah, I feel good right now, and I hope y'all are too. I was just thinking. I know I say a lot of off the wall things. Not necessarily that they off the wall. It's just that I say things in a way that we haven't heard people say things before. That's part of what made me me. But I say that because when I say things like, I ain't never seen nobody raised from the dead, or I ain't never seen nobody come back from the dead, it's because it's true. Not in this lifetime. You feel me? If I did see it, I ain't seen it in this lifetime. And now y'all may say, why I say that? Because I don't want us to get it twisted. When I say what may sound like off the wall things, especially if you have tapped into your superpower, because we all got a superpower. And I ain't gonna try to be too long, you know, because it's the last day before the raffle. It's the last day for the raffle, so I ain't gonna try to be too long. But if you have tapped into your superpower and illustrated things that if people wasn't around, you probably can't tell people because they wouldn't believe you, because we're in the seeing and believing world, then you probably resonate exactly with what I say. But as I said, you know, don't get it twisted. I never said I doubt or don't believe in the possibility of divine source or God or the creator, and what can be done through us who tap into it. I just said I haven't seen the things written about personally. But personally, I know the possibility because the creator have shown people things through me. You hear me? If you know, you know. Like the things written. That just don't happen every day. Or that normal people just don't have the ability to do, you know. But the good thing about it is many things that have been illustrated through me, people was present. I say that because we not in Buddha time. We not in Yeshua time. We're not in none of those times that we read about for spiritual insight. So we're going to have to find it in ourselves. And in saying that, I'm saying I'm the closest thing to the masters that I ever met. So in my purpose of being here, I'm not here to testify of the divine through nobody else. I'm showing us what we got to do for ourselves. If you don't listen, you're going to miss it. So in order for us to be able to pass over, see, Moses split the Red Sea, and I'm going to show y'all how that was done. But in order for us to pass over, somebody going to have to take us through the Red Sea. So as I take us through the Red Sea in conscious, we're going to be able to pass over or pass through in conscious. And through that passing over and passing through, we may bring some spiritual gifts and some superpowers online. You hear me? Because nobody never believe me if I was by myself when this happened. But it wasn't meant for me to be by myself. But I was in Sarasota, Florida. Whittaker Park, to be exact. 15th Street. If you ever visited Sarasota, Florida, visit Whittaker Park. It's a beautiful portal. You hear me? But I was there with I was there I go there all the time. It was a sacred place for me, but I was there with 3 other young men who I had come out there and meet me for a prayer meditation service. And I had them with their hands interlocked, and we was in a circle. And the moment I connected with two of my associates' hands to make the circle complete, the whole Gulf, all the water as far as you can see, just started bubbling. And it scared one of the young men named Corey, and he broke the circle. As soon as he broke the circle, it stopped. He was like, man, what the hell? At that time, I wasn't Saul of God no more. I probably was the devil in his eyes. But I turned around and I told him, I said, man, come back, man. You'll mess around and have me stuck out there. You hear me? So he came back. And the moment he joined hands back to complete the circle again, it started doing it again. I just told him to stay calm. For whatever reason, that source, that the divine, that God wanted them to see this, because it wasn't about me. I had no intentions. I had no knowing that this was going to happen. It was just something that happened, you know, and it did, believe it or not. But I shared that to say, hey, this is my purpose of doing this, because we could do things that, and there's many other things that I'm able to share, you know. But we could do things that, man, like the things that was written about. If you know, you know. So with that, I'm gonna split the Red Sea so we could pass through. And that's the day's reading. Red Sea and Passover, family. Metaphysical meaning of the Red Sea, or the Red Sea, a long narrow sea that lies between Asia and Africa. It is called the sea in most places in the Bible wherein it is mentioned. It was through this sea that the Israelites passed on dry land, while the Egyptians who followed them were drowned. So Israelite is a state of consciousness, and the Egyptians is a state of consciousness, or Egypt is a state of consciousness. So in order for one to success, one has to be eliminated. And in this context, Egypt represents a lower state of consciousness, according to the things that was done in Egypt to the children of Israel, according to the narrative of the story. But we beyond the narrative and the characters of the story, we into the consciousness and metaphysical aspects of these so-called characters, if they ever existed or not. Because most of us probably here are embodying these characters that we read about, but we just don't know it. That's why I'm here to help. Metaphysical meaning, a fixed sea of universal thought that has become part of the very world in which we live. A fixed sea. We are the ocean. The mind is the ocean. Many of us may have or may have not heard that term before, but the mind is the ocean, and it's full of life. You hear me? A fixed sea of universal thought that's become part of the very world in which we live. We find it as the race belief in life separate from God. And it has taken up its abode in the sense man and forms a part of his physical existence. The human concept that the life in the body is mortal must be set aside. We are immortal beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We all don't heard it before, but we got to go deeper than what we hear, so we can go deeper than what we just repeating if we don't know what it means. The human concept that the life in the body is mortal must be set aside, and the God dominion declared. The God dominion affirmed. The God body affirmed. Your light body affirmed. There is but one life, and that life is God. You hear me? There is a universal life force which moves upon a universal substance. This combination of life and substance is the matrix. This combination of life and substance is the matrix. Life and the life force, the invisible, the seen and the unseen, is the matrix in which all mind force works. Symbolically, It is the Red Sea or Life Sea. Human thoughts, which form part of the race consciousness, have impregnated this sea. So every time we think, we're impregnating the substance in the matrix according to our thoughts. The Red Sea represents the sum of all thoughts about life with which the race has impregnated the universal ether. In the mythology of the Greeks and Romans, this is symbolized by the river Styx, over which souls were ferried or carried across by Charon. It is familiar to metaphysicians as the psychic realm or race thought, which has to be overcome by the progressive soul. You hear me? The second part, an important part of this presentation, is the Passover, so we can walk through. You hear me? Passover, passing over a stream or an obstruction. So it could be a gate opener or a gatekeeper. So, and we got gate openers and we got gatekeepers. It's easy to tell which one I am. You hear me? And sometimes you got to be both. The Spirit told me to say that. Overcoming, sparing, protecting, delivering. Metaphysical meaning. The Passover was an annual festival of the Israelites and still is kept by the Jews in commandment of their escape from the Egyptians. Remember, we're talking about a consciousness, because we ain't in them times to know if them times was them times, but we in them times to know that them times is in our consciousness. If you don't listen, you're going to miss it. It was used by Yeshua to represent the freeing of the spiritual man from the dominion of sense, the freeing of Judah from the Judas. It is part of the regenerative process that goes on in the body under the inspiration of the Christ conscious or the Christ mind. It is the passing over or out of one state of consciousness into another. When you're going back down there, high vibration. In order to get the esoteric interpretation of the Passover, it is necessary to analyze the descent of spirit into the subjective consciousness and follow it step by step in its many manifestations. The descent into spirit, into this subjective consciousness that covered itself in flesh. If you don't listen, you're going to miss it. So walk with me, y'all. Physically speaking, Egypt represents the part of the body below the diaphragm. The various plagues brought upon the Egyptians by the Lord through Moses are symbolical representations of appearances that ensue in this part of the organism when the presiding intelligence or pharaoh opposes the influx of the higher life. And I ain't talking about nothing out there, I'm just pointing up. Stay with me. A parallel to the bloody waters, frogs, lice, flies, murrain, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and death of firstborn may be found in the various diseases of our bowels, kidneys, and other organs of the body as named by doctors. A very large portion of these ills is the result of human resistance to spiritual consciousness, which is working widely in humanity. That's why we're in the Aquarian age, or the age of information, or the age of ascension, or the new age. A concept of truth in the head will eventually find its way through the whole body. A concept, a seed of truth in the head will eventually find its way through the whole body. And when its vibrations penetrate into the centers, established in materiality, or become an atom, great resistance and pain sometimes follow. This sets up a chronic irritation and gives rise to a local condition to which the physicians gives a name. If y'all just missed that, rewind it. You need to have your pen and notepad out every time I come on anyway, so you can be taking notes down as the Spirit inspire you through what's being heard. Did the patient only know that it was Spirit at work and fearlessly affirm the presence and power of the divine life? The opposition of the physical would pass away and a new and more enduring life flow would follow. Let me back it up. If only the patient knew that it was Spirit at work and fearlessly affirmed the presence and power of divine life, the opposition of the physical, or whatever the symptom was, would pass away and a new and more enduring life flow would follow. There is a physical basis of life through which the natural world manifests. Physical generation is its law, and its seed is the material cell. In Exodus, the natural world is called Egypt. Yeshua spoke of it as this world. Then there is the true world, whose foundation is spirit. This is the heaven of Yeshua, and the house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens, referred to by Paul. These are both in evidence in man's soul and body. This is evident in man's soul and body. And in regeneration, there is a breaking up and passing away of the physical basis and an ushering in of the spiritual. The firstborn of the Egyptians is the highest concept of life perpetuation that the physical man possesses. When the divine word or angel of the Lord passes through consciousness, a transformation takes place in the life thought. If the consciousness is established in materiality and has no expectation or thought of spiritual life, the germ is destroyed by the high vibration and passes away through the kidneys or bowels, and a general physical weakness follows. This is the death of the firstborn of the Egyptians. If the mind is set on higher things, on the understanding that the enduring life is spiritual both within and without, blood on the doorpost, then the germ is saved from destruction. It is retained in the organism, goes through a regeneration process, is multiplied, and eventually strengthens the whole man. We may mentally have made our truest statements and seemingly complied with all the law, yet Pharaoh does not let our people go. There is no realization of freedom in the body consciousness. That the Pharaoh is the old thought forms, the low vibrational behaviors that keeps us in bondage. Another step is necessary, which is typified in the feast of the Passover. In every change of consciousness on the physical plane, there is a breaking down of cells and a building up of other cells to take their place. Mentally, this is denial and affirmation. And this process in the body is the result of these two movements of mind, yin and yang, chaos and order. The lamb that is killed and eaten in the night represents this giving up of the animal life in the obscurity of the carnal body. The command is that the lamb shall be without spot or blemish and be wholly eaten after being roasted with fire. So we got to go through the fire. And then we got to be consumed by it. That's the only way it don't burn you. Fire represents the positive, affirmative state of mind as opposed to the negative or watery state. The children of Israel were commanded not to let the lamb be boiled. We are not to allow the life in our organism to simmer and stew with the worries, with the anger, with the stress, and negative words of carnality, but we must set it afire with strong words of truth, healing, hope, joy, peace, and so many others. This is to show us that there must be a physical sacrifice as well as a mental, and that all the congregation, the whole mind, the whole consciousness, left and right, shall join it. That is, the whole consciousness of spiritual desire shall acquiesce. Many metaphysicians think that it is not necessary to change the habits of the sense man, that one has only to keep his thoughts right and the flesh will thereby be wholly regulated. Follow suit. But the scripture teaches that there must be a conscious physical change before the complete demonstration in mind and body is manifest. Thoughts work themselves out in things, and we get the full result of this work only when we follow them consciously every step of the way and help them along the way. So watch your thoughts as they consecutively work their way through your organism. And if you find that some pure thought of spiritual life is striving to free the life in the appetites and passions, in the lusts, in the desires, in the envies, in the jealousies, you hear me? Put a positive affirmation upon it. Speak a positive affirmation to it. Do not be afraid to expose your inner life to the sight of the Lord, for only in perfect candor and childlike innocence can man come under the protection of divine law. So long as there is a hidden secret use of God's life in our habits and ways that we are not willing that all should know, just so long will the bondage of Egypt Pharaoh hold us in its clutches. That means be who you be. To be who you are, you got to be who you be. So you got to let that thing, each and every one of us got something in us that's of the divine that want to express itself or want to create or it show itself or illustrate itself or demonstrate itself up out of us. And it may be something that mentally, emotionally, whatever the case may be, that's keeping it restricted. The whole man must be pure, and his inner life must be made so open and free that he will not be afraid to blaze it upon the doors of his house or wherever the road he may pass. So all who see it and may be able to read, if only the energy. Then the Lord will execute his judgment, and those who have purified the life of the lamb or the body will escape the messenger or thought of death. Let's eat, family. You hear me? We brought out the force last night. And tonight we're gonna bring out a ticket. We're gonna place a ticket in the emoji. Tonight, today is the last day, family. Today is the last day it's a lot moving through me right now. That reading just got me charged on a whole nother level. But today is the last day. We're gonna place a ticket in the emoji in the comment section for the raffle tomorrow. I'm doing a raffle tomorrow. Today is the last day. I see some new subscribers. I appreciate if all y'all who invited somebody to share the message with somebody or brought in a subscriber. I appreciate y'all. But I do see some new subscribers. I seen the numbers do some things. The raffle is tomorrow. New subscribers. I do raffles at the end of the month. Be subscribed. You must be subscribed, because I'm not going to overlook those. I got to say it. I'm not going to overlook those who've been putting in the work. You know, we working over here. We work. If you knew, we work over here. And we go deep. We dive deep and we go deep, you know, and we come back to the surface, and we get things done. You hear me? Different than any way you're gonna find on YouTube. But we go there, we get it done, and we getting it done step by step. But I do a raffle at the end of the month. You must be subscribed. Watch the video. Place the emoji in the comment section at the end of the video, which will be a ticket. As simple as that. I don't ask for much. That's all I'm asking. Other than that, thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. I appreciate you, New Arms, Family and Soul Tribe. I appreciate the new subscribers. I hope you enjoy what you hear as we move forward. Thanks for those who donate. Thanks for love offerings. Thanks for those who made purchases with me. And so forth and so on. Feel good for no reason at all. Find a reason if you need to, and if that's the only reason that you could hold on to, so you able to feel good for no reason at all, then hold on to that one, you know, because feeling good is feeling God. Other than that, I appreciate y'all, Family, Soul Tribe, Peekaboos, and Passerbys. My name is Saul the God. Love.